The Kav comes from the highest worlds, far removed from the din, comes out of the surrounding lights of Ein Soph, comes out of the breath of Ein Soph itself. This Kav is spelt Kuf Vav. Fully spelt out, it's Kuf 186 and Vav as 13, because I spelled this with the Aleph. So actually the din of the Kav is the 13 attributes of mercy itself. And the Kav itself, the only letter that goes below the line. This Kav as 186 plus 13 is 199, which is Tzedakah. The Kav itself is Tzedakah. And when one gives Tzedakah, they blend themselves in, they associate themselves, attach themselves to the Kav. Remember, we're in the month of Elul, where the Aharayim writing of Elul comes also out to 199, because Elul is Tzedakah. The principle of Tzedakah has to increase in Elul. One of the reasons for this is to get associated with the Kav. Remember, there are two lines to the Kav, the internal and external, and the Aleph in between, to give the number 13. And because Elul is also the 13 attributes of mercy which relate to this Kav, in a certain sense, this Kav also, with that 199 plus the 6 letters of the 2 spellings of Kuf and Vav, plus the 2 words themselves, Kuf and Vav, give 199 plus 6 plus 2, which is 207, which is Ein Soph. So the Kav has this direct relationship to Ein Soph. And the giving of Tzedakah attaches oneself to this level of Ein Soph. Quite frankly, the blowing of the shofar also attaches itself to this level of din. The Kav comes in to the empty space, down to the Botzina Dekatanuta, which is the din. This din of Elohim. This Kav itself as 2 levels of the Kav is kind of like Teferet and Yesod, both of Vavs. But the Kav itself is a Yesod. Just like Shofar is Yesod. The spelling of the Shofar as 586 is the same as the spelling of Yesod spelt out 586. This union of Kav and Botzina Dekatanuta, din, In a sense, the Tzedakah eases the din. Remember, it's Zadech Hey. The Hey is the din part. The Zadech is the Yesod part. As we were saying, as I was saying, Yesod is 80, Malkus is 496. The two together, Yesod Malkus, is 576, plus 9 letters, plus 1 for the roll, is 586, and that's the shofar. The shofar is the same as this kav. The internal breath of the shofar is the aleph within the two lines of the two external lines of the vowels. Shofar is the union here of Yesod and Malkus. Everything has to be this union of Yesod and Malkus. That's the whole point of everything. As related in these letters and the word kuf, vav. That's the kav. That's the shofar. That's the letter vav. That's the 13 attributes of mercy. Much more here with the din. Much more with the din as the botzina, the kartanuta. The whole idea of the beth din. Bezdin, how you really only need one to make a decision, but down here we need 3, because in the absolute there's only this Votzina de Kartanuta, but in the level of man there are 3 lines. There's 1 line down, that's the Kav. But in man, there's 3 lines. Right, left, and center line. That center line is really the kav itself, a reminiscent of the upper. But that one line splits into the right and left. It continues as one. It's almost like, say, on a tennis court where you don't see the center line anymore. You only see the split of the 2 left and right. But really there's one line that splits into 3, and that's the Beth Din. It's 1 plus a 2. And that's the addition of man, and that's what the Beth Din is. Otherwise, everything is taken care of by 1. But down here in man, you need 3. That's evident in the word Ein Soph, by the way. In some of the versions in the Sanhedrin, they say, it was 141 people in the greater Sanhedrin. And in the lower Sanhedrin, there was 45. Well, 141 is the Rosh Tivo of Aleph Samech Pei, final Pei, which is Ein Soph. That's in the 71. And in the 45, that's the 45 spelling of Yud Kei Vav Kei. So in the upper echelons, there's only 1, and down here it splits into 3, which is a continuation of the center 1, but splits into the 2 sides. And that's what we have down here in Olam Hazeh. This month of Elul is an approach to this understanding. And it comes through in the word Kav Tzedakah and its relationship to Ein Soph and the shofar.